What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. And listen, we're doing a little 2-for-1 Halloween thingy unboxing setup, whatever. We're going to be unboxing the Skull Stack and the Skull Archway, both from Home Depot. Now, these both retail for $199, and when I bought them, they were on sale for $99 or something like that. It might have been like $99.50, but I don't pay that much attention. I don't really know. Anyway, starting off with the Skull Stack because I said so, I guess. Here is everything. Honestly, I was shocked by how few parts. Actually, both of these have. This one, a little bit more interesting. They're both cool, although I feel like they both have build quality problems, which I'll talk about in a second, for at least the Skull Stack. Here's the bag of whatever. And then it's the skulls, which are all like... what are those, like, the China dolls or whatever they are that you put inside of each other and they just keep getting smaller and smaller? It's like that, except with these skulls. One other thing, here's the base where you put on, like, a pole or something, and then you move from there. I don't really know, I didn't pay attention. But, yeah, I also missed a step here where there's these little, like, thin metal bars. If you've pretty much hit anything SVI, you'll know what I'm talking about, where it goes into, like, the bottom of the pole and then sticks into the side of the base. I'm gonna be real with you, I ended up putting them on later because I had to take them apart to stake it in the ground properly, because you have to do that first for some reason, which is a little weird. But anyway, those poles will fall out at all. Like, I was trying to put on the first skull, this is after already failing multiple times, and they kept falling off. They fell off like 3 or 4 times before I finally got everything on properly, which is a little bit annoying. Anyway, the skulls have these little clips where they just kind of, like, open. It's kind of weird, but interesting. And then they have these caps at the top that you pull out so the pole can stick through, and that is actually where the cord goes, which is very interesting. It has, like, on the bottom, it has a little screw thing where you just pop the next skull's cord into it. It's pretty cool. On another note, they have a cord they come with to where you can connect them all so they can be, like, horizontally, which I'll probably end up doing next year because, I think it's cool to change it up like that. But anyway, here's skull number 2. You see I'm just connecting that cord. And yeah, this thing is pretty big. It's 8 feet tall. And that first skull is like 2.5 maybe of that. I'm not sure, but yeah, I love the way these look. I guess my biggest complaint would be the fact that pretty much the mold is the same. I mean, you see the teeth appear to be a little different, but, like, I was looking at the back of them, and all of them have the roughly same kind of line or crack pattern. But, yeah, here I'm trying to get the second one on. I think I had a problem to where you'll notice, or I'll get there eventually. The poles have little, like, things that stick out the sides that I guess are also poles, and they are just in the way, and the cord gets wrapped around them a lot. Also, I'll pan up the camera in a second. I realized I was kind of low. You see that one, goofy guy. But yeah, I guess the fronts look different of the skulls. But regardless, it's not really like a crazy sturdy build, but I don't really feel like it has to be. I mean, the plastic skull heads will be pretty good on their own. I don't exactly think that the metal pole needs to support them very much, other than just make sure that they get held in place a little bit. But yeah, I ended up, well, I'll actually say that later. I think I put on one more now. Yeah, something like that. I ended up, after this one, leaning it down. You're not supposed to lean it down, but I'm too short to reach, even though I'm not short. I don't know, like, I mean, I guess get a step stool or something, because you really can't. Obviously, if you're staking it in the ground like you're supposed to, you can't actually tilt it down, so. Plus, it just got a little bit complicated because the skulls started twisting on me, and it was just not fun to get in place. But, regardless, yeah, I got there, I think. Here's the next one on, and I believe it's like 2 more or something. I don't know, I'm bad at math. But you see, it is pretty tall. Any other, like, things to say? No, the lights look really cool. I do have a clip of that will be at the end where I have it in my display with the lights on at night. And yeah, I got it, like, pretty much right next to the sidewalk leading up to my front door. It's pretty nice looking there. I honestly just, like, needed more non-animatronic things or non-props in general because, like, everything I have out is pretty much props. I guess I have the casket, I have a skeleton, I have this. I have now the archway, but I mean, outside of that and some, like, tombstones, it's not much. I do also have the spirit fogging skull pile, but I haven't put that out yet because I'm trying to figure out where I want that because it's flat-backed. So I kind of want to put it against a wall, but I'm not really sure. It would make the most sense against a wall, but I don't really have a wall to put it up against. I'm debating putting it, like, on the base of Cremator's base, because I feel like that would look cool, having him, I guess, hold of the skulls. I'm not sure. But I'll think of something for sure. At this time, it's 12 days till Halloween. Oh my god, that's so close. But, yeah. I have been starting to put things out, which, no, I guess you won't see anything because of where this is placed, but I have, like, outside of the, obviously, ones that can be outside, I have Cauldron Creep, Catacomb, and Evelyn Leech up. And I'm just kind of every couple days throwing one out. But I'll have to probably ramp it up whenever I have a day off, I guess, next week from Spirit. But yeah, I think after this might be the last Halloween thing you see this year. I'm not sure. I'll probably get something on clearance, but I feel like anything I get from Spirit is going to be bad. Anyway, here it is in the day, and here it is in the dark. You can see it looks very nice, and I also have all the skulls situated properly into this clip. And, yeah, pretty cool. On to the Archway box. This one is actually a really weirdly sized box. I mean, it's about the proportions of, like, the big 12-footers. It's just, like, 2/3 of the height, which is a little strange. But this has another one of those, again, I forget what they're called, the, like, porcelain dolls that go inside of each other and just continue to stack. It has that with the pieces. But yeah, this piece is for indoor use where you essentially slide in little slots in the base and it all goes well. This one I have also one main problem with, but I'll talk about it later because it's not important right now. Also, you're not supposed to climb on it. Crazy, I know. But it's pretty much just symmetrical. It comes with almost 2 of everything, or except for, like, I guess one piece, which is the top center, and obviously that bottom piece. And it does tell you which side is inside and which side is outside, which is nice. Assuming you're not dumb like me, which I'll explain later. But, yeah, cardboard, base thing. It's built very interestingly, I'm not gonna lie. It is definitely, I think, better, sure. Built weller, that's a word, than the Lowe's Arch that I have, because that one is just kind of thin, but that one seems to hold up very well in the wind, but I also think because it's so, like, thin that it just kind of takes it and it doesn't really care. But yeah, here's all of the pieces pretty much. They're all plastic wrapped, which is, I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad thing, but when they're plastic wrapped inside of each other, I was starting to get mad because it's so much. Anyway, here I am starting, and I realize in a second I actually have these parts switched. The 2 little, like, stand legs, they're not even legs, the little, like, sticky outy bits where there's 2 on the one side should be the outside and the 1 should be the inside. Because the 2 are for the stakes and the 1 is for not the stakes. It's for that metal bar that I mentioned earlier. And I notice here, because when I sit this one on, it sits so far to the outside, and there's, like, an entire bar in the middle, and I'm like, that feels wrong. And then once I put on the other one, I realize, wait a minute, I'm a little dumb. But, yeah, this one is fully plastic, detailed, which is awesome. I love that. You don't see that very often. But I guess it also makes it easier because you don't have to choose a side that you like better. And here you see I switch it because I realize that I'm dumb. But yeah, it's very awesome. And the detailing is amazing. It looks so cool. This is definitely one of the coolest things I think Home Depot has. I feel like they had this last year, but I don't remember. Anyway, another pole on, and then it's more of the same pieces. They essentially just kind of fit over each other pretty nicely. You'll see on the one side, which is the right, it like doesn't sit properly for me at first, so I have to push it down, but yeah, I ended up with a weird problem later, which I'll explain when we get there. And oh, dog, I didn't even realize Macy showed up. She's watching in the background. I don't know if, oh, there she goes. Funny. Anyway, you see that one didn't sit right. I just had to push it down. I'm not sure why that happened, to be quite honest with you. Because there's no, like, differentiation between the pieces for left and right. It's just this side's the outside, this side's the inside, whatever. Because they're sculpted the same on both sides. I think they might be different. I'm not sure. But yeah, you see I end up getting it down. Not too bad. Next step, I think, is another pole, but I don't really remember. Also, obviously, this is not how wide you're supposed to do it. I end up cutting this out, but essentially you build up these two side segments, then you build the middle top segment, and then you just, like, snap lock them in together, which is one of those weird twist locks that usually the 12-footer hands have. And yeah, this is where I had a weird problem after these. Essentially, you're supposed to put, like, a little nut and washer onto the tops of the poles, and for some reason it fit, but it fit differently on either side, which was strange. But regardless, it ended up working, so I didn't really bat an eye. One other thing I should mention. What was the thing I wanted to mention, actually? I, like, completely forgot. Oh my god. Lord, that's just great. That's awesome. Oh yeah, mine didn't come with instructions, and I don't know if that's like a big problem, or if if none of them do, or if that was just they missed something. But I wasn't missing any other parts, so like whatever, who cares? Although the box does have the instructions on the flaps, which I actually really like that. That's a nice little touch. But yeah, that was kind of weird, opening the box and not seeing a piece of paper saying, hey, do this. I'm sure it's somewhere, like, it could be under one of the flaps inside, like, on the bottom. I just didn't look that hard, but, because I knew that they were there. I guess in worst case, I, like, pull it up on my phone, or just guess. You never really know, right? Although, that's probably not ideal. Anyway, I think those are the two sides done. I put the washer on the nut, as mentioned. And then it's just, you essentially have to assemble each of the two top sides, and then you connect those together. And this is where it's all twist locked. I don't like these very much. I feel like they have a lot of give to them. Although maybe that was just the way that I was kind of dealing with them. But it felt like when I lifted up, I think it was this segment when I lifted it up, it just felt like it was gonna, like, snap on me. But yeah, there you see, just twist it in. These are hard to get on. I don't know why I had so much problems. Like, they would get stuck or something. And I would have to really, really force it in. Which also is the deal with the top. But overall, I really like this. It's a great archway. I have it in a weird spot. I don't have a clip of it, unfortunately. But, it is a little bit, like, not bent, but it's leaning a little bit on one side, which hopefully shouldn't be a problem. Worst case, oops. Oh, well, I guess, but yeah. And then here's the middle segment, as I mentioned, and then after this you put it on the two sides, which I just laid down and did, because it doesn't say that explicitly, but it looks like, based on the way the angle of the image works, that it is, because it shows the people doing the thing, and they're, like, crouched down next to it. So yeah, we can make assumptions. Anyway, here's where it is. These parts are also weird, because you have to twist the whole freaking setup. It's annoying. But anyway, that's pretty much all. Thank you guys so much. If you guys did enjoy this video, again, definitely do recommend both of these, although probably the Archway at this point isn't available. And yeah, that being said, have a fantastic rest of your day or night. And I will see you on the next one. Peace.